Hello everyone, Sasori Zero here, Hong Yu Seong, and today I'm going to show everyone how to make a reference box that would be appropriate for a jet. In my last video I showed everyone how to make a reference box instead versus making a plane and then modifying it into this this polygon cut open box sort of thing. And the way that I instead made this one box and have the faces of it disappear is I used backface cull, which means that when a polygon faces the viewpoint camera in 3ds Max, these back faces that are facing it are cut out and instead show the inside of this box based on where you're viewing it from. Now you can just as easily do this for a plane, at which you can just make this plane, set up the amount of sides on the plane, and then pull the edges to make however many sides of it you want. However, this takes way more time, and you could just as easily make a box, right click it and turn on this setting. On top of that, the benefit of this already made box, besides saving time, is it already has 6 sides inside of it which you can edit for your reference viewing pleasure and thus make your whole life easier. Also, even though this is getting a little technical, sometimes when if you don't stretch / pull all the edges first time around, you will have to weld each of the edges together, and this is just a few more minutes that you could be taking out of your precious time that are unnecessary rather than making this box and backface culling it. Anyway, moving right along. So I already edited the box slightly to be larger to support a larger image of a jet. However, in this video I'm going to show the 2 methods at which you can do this, which being the plane method, i.e. these planes, and the backface culled box method. So for the backface box method, you're going to stretch the box out so it can support a larger image. You're then going to go into rendering and go to the compact material editor as before. Now, I didn't change the bitmaps from the last video, so doing this now, you're going to go back to the same bitmap option. You're going to go out, and for this video I'm using a Macros Veritech, the YF19 from Macros Plus, as the reference image. Now, as you see, this image, I did not cut this image or crop this image in Photoshop before I made the video. I'm using this from the beginning, just pulling it straight out of my desktop. You're going to resize it, and obviously with this time I don't need to make separate walls. I don't have to apply the material to separate walls in the box. I can just as easily modify it, stretch it, or make it smaller as I want. And there. Now, the thing to keep in mind when you're making vehicle images is, unlike reference images of people, which are high quality, they have higher resolutions usually, the images you will find for vehicles can be of varying degrees of resolution, and so it's best to find the best resolution image, maybe play around with it in Photoshop a bit so you can see all the parts. You can, at least as in the case of say a tank or a jeep, or even a car, or if you like BMW, for example, or Audi, to get the general shape. But with a jet image or image of a plane, the attention to detail, especially if you want it to be a realistic plane or real world plane or photorealistic, as say this YF19 is in Macros Plus and Macros 7, you're going to have to play with it a little more. So from there you can make your 3D model. Now as for the plane method, what you're going to do is I'm just going to color these, I'm going to get rid of these faces. You take this plane, I'm going to minimize the material editor, and then mirror it. Just copy, set it to copy, and then just make it an x-axis clone. From there you would select the select and rotate tool, and you would then continue to rotate it until you have this X or cross shape with the plane. Set it to this, to where the two of them intersect each other and create these 4 different openings of a 90-degree angle, preferably. You'll then go back to the material editor with a shape similar to this one and apply the material to both sides. Now, as you can see, if your image looks like this, you can just easily mirror it again, set to no clone, and then mirror it on the x-axis again, which will reverse the image and put everything in order. You can then pull it out accordingly so you get a full view of the wing here, and then you can move the image or manipulate it however you like. Okay. If you really need to, you can also just select the vertex option in the modifier menu and pull the vertices however you want to make the image larger or smaller, need be. So that wraps up this 3ds Max reference box tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Sisori Zero signing off.